Hello and welcome. This is Jennifer McGuire. Believe it or not, I send a lot of cards, but I rarely send birthday cards. I'm not good about keeping up on birthdays, and I really want to change that. So today I'm doing a birthday card index box. Now, the reason I'm doing this is I've tried writing birthdays in planners and in my computer, and nothing works for me. I need something that I can keep from year to year and refer back to. So I decided to go with the system that my mom has been using for so many years, since before I was born, and it works for her, and it turns out it works for me. This is a birthday card index box that's broken up by months, and behind each of the months are cards for all the birthdays for that month, including their addresses, their birth date, all the information. So I'm going to show you how I put this box together and give some tips for an easier way to do the box if you just want to make something quick. And I also have a free download over my blog where you can print your own birthday card index cards like the one you see here. So I'll talk about that in the video too. So I'm using some new products in this video from Paper Smooches, one of my favorite happy stamping companies. So I need to make little file separators for my box, and that's what I'm doing here with scraps of cardstock. So I've cut a bunch of scraps of cardstock to 5 inches wide, and I'm putting a pencil line at just a little bit bigger than 3 inches, like 3 1/8 of an inch, and drawing a pencil line. Now I have 12 pieces I'm going to create here, one for each month. So in the end, these little dividers will be 5 inches wide and a little taller than 3 inches. So I'm going to do this with all of the colors. Now I wanted to put a little tab across the top, so that's why I'm not cutting across there. I'm going to use a die to create that tab that you see there. And by the way, many index card boxes come with little dividers like this, but I wanted to create my own so that I would have 12 of them in really pretty colors. I will be using a Paper Smooches file tab die to cut the little tabs at the top, but I need to do some planning first. I'm going to put a little mark a 1/2 inch apart on each of these colors. On the pink one, I did it at a 1/2 inch from the side. On the orange, which is the next color, I did it at 1 inch. Then on the yellow, I'll do 1 1/2 inches. On the light yellow, I'll do 2 inches, and so on and so forth. This just makes sure that the tab is in a different location on each of these colors, so that when all my little dividers are in the box, they won't all be directly behind each other. You could randomly place it on all of them if you wanted to, and it would save a lot of time. Now it's time to create that little tab on the top using a die. This is a new die from Paper Smooches. It's actually part of a set. It actually has the other die that cuts the other part of a file folder, and I think these would be fun to use on the edge of a card too. So I'm going to put some sticky tape, this is just a Post-it tape, on the back of this die, and this will help me line up where my little tab is going to cut each time. Again, you can make this more random if you want to save some time. So I'm putting the edge of my die right along the edge of the sticky tape. If you don't have sticky tape, you could use Post-it tape or a piece of washi tape too. I'm going to put a little pencil mark where the edge of the die is on this so I can see from this side. You see it's lined up right with the edge of my die. And I'm going to line up that little mark with the mark I put on my cardstock. So I'm lining it up with the first mark here, that 1/2 inch from the edge, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. So I'm lining up the edge of the die, which is the edge of that tape, with the pencil line that I put on my cardstock. So I end up with a card that is 5 inches wide and about 3 1/8 inch tall with a little tab at the top. Now you'll notice that the die doesn't cut all the way across the paper, but we'll fix that in a moment. We just now want to get this initial tab die cut. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the next one, lining it up with the tick mark that I had drawn there, which is 1 inch from the side, and I'll peel that off, and there you can see the tab that's already cut in there. Don't worry about the pencil line, we'll erase that later too. So let me show you one more. Here is the bright yellow. You can see that's about 1.5 inches from the edge where I'm going to line up the edge of the die, run that through the machine, and I'm going to do this with all of the pieces of colored cardstock so that I can have a tab on the top of each of them. Now we need to extend the cut line all the way across the piece of cardstock. So I used a straight edge and a craft knife to do this. I found that that was the easiest way for me to extend these cut lines, but you could also use scissors and just cut right across if you want to, and then you can erase your pencil line. So what we end up with are 12 different colored index card dividers, and they're 5 inches wide, 3 1/8 inch tall, and then a little tab sticking off the top. And since I moved the die over a 1/2 inch each time I did it, you can see that they're staggered here. Let me put the 3 I've done so far together and you can see how they're staggered across. Okay, now I wanted to laminate these so they would be sturdy. So I have my inexpensive laminator, and I got these laminating pouches. They're 5 mil thick, so it's nice and thick. And all you do is you put any paper you want into this. It's like a two-ply piece of plastic. And then you run it through your laminator and it's laminated. I've been using a laminator a lot lately for foiling techniques, but it's also handy to have just to laminate anything that you need for organizing. So I'm going to put all 12 of my pieces in these laminating sheets. I can do 4 at a time. And by the way, these laminating sheets are very inexpensive. There's a ton in the box, and the laminator is inexpensive too. So I'm going to put 4 of them in at a time, and all you do is put it inside the laminating pouch, close it up, and then run it through your laminating machine. And it just comes out the other side sealed up nicely. This allows you to have very durable dividers. You could just use cardstock if you want to and skip the laminating. But I really think a laminator is a great tool for many different crafting things and also for organizing around the house. When they come out the other side, you'll have them all laminated, and all you need to do is cut them apart. I leave a little trim along the edge, not much, less than 1/8 of an inch, just to make sure that it stays sealed. Now I'm going to put these back through the laminator once I've cut them. I don't know that it makes much of a difference, but I wanted to really make sure it was sealed nicely around the edges. And check out those fun little dividers that you get. It doesn't take much time at all. I also thought it would be fun to have like a little title in the front of this index box since mine is clear. So I have a new stamp set from Paper Smooches. I'm going to keep it very simple because I don't want to spend too much time on this. So I'm stamping the word celebrate at the top of this white piece with black ink. Now this white piece is also cut at 5 inches wide and 3 1/8 inch tall. And I'm going to keep this simple. So I'm going to also stamp these balloons. I love how these balloons overlap with each other so you can make see-through balloons. I'm stamping this with my favorite things, black hybrid ink, which is a Copic marker friendly ink. And I'm just going to stamp this repeatedly across this card, making sure to overlap each time. By the way, this is a new stamp set from Paper Smooches called Birthday Bash. Okay, once I have all of these stamped, I'm just going to make sure to extend the string lines on my stamped images with a black pen. And then I always like to heat set my stamping before I start coloring with a Copic marker. That just really ensures that that ink doesn't bleed, or you could just give it a little bit of time, but I'm impatient, so I just go ahead and zap it with a heat gun. Now to color these balloons, I am going to keep it simple and just color them solid. I'm not going to worry about any shading. And I just pick markers that matched the pieces of cardstock that I used to color or to create the little dividers. Now I'm going to just color them solid and overlap the colors. And the cool thing is where they overlap, the two colors next to each other from the two different balloons, where it overlaps, they kind of react with each other. So you get kind of a new color. And that makes this technique of overlapping balloons really fun. So I just went through very quickly, added color to each of these balloons, and you can see where those balloons overlap, the really cool effect that you get. And I also laminated this piece so that it would stay nice and durable. Now next I need to add the names of the months to each of the tabs on our little dividers. If you wanted to, you could have stamped those before you laminated them, but I decided to use my label maker. I have a label maker that I love so much. It's a Brother label maker. I've showed this in videos before. The key to this one is to make sure you do chain print. So you turn it on and you press this arrow and the right arrow until you see it say margin up there. See how it says margin? Then click OK and make sure you push through that arrow until it says chain print on the screen, and then click OK then. What this does is it connects every label you make and it wastes so much less tape in between. So it prints them very close together and then you just cut them apart with your scissors and it saves so much tape. You'll save a ton of money that way. Also, I found that it saves money when you use the plug-in, the adapter that you see here instead of the batteries. So each time you print it, it'll ask you if you want to feed, and you just say escape, and then you print another one. And this prevents you from wasting a lot of tape in between. Okay, so I did all of the months, January through December. I'm going to cut them out. I've printed this on the thin 6mm clear tape that you can get for that label maker. And I'm going to put this on the top of each. Now, if you don't have a label maker, you could also just write on these little tabs with a black Sharpie. But I'll be honest, I use my label maker for everything. In my craft room for my inks and my stamps, and also in my cabinets for the different foods in the containers and such. I just love my label maker. Okay, now for the little cards that go inside this box, I created my own file and I'll share it with you over on my blog. All you have to do is print this, and each print creates 4 little index cards to put into your birthday card index box. You just cut between the little plus signs that are around this. So if you cut around all those, you'll end up with the cards cut to 3 by 5 inches. Now, if you want to save a ton of time, you could just go buy index cards, which are 3 by 5 inches, and will fit into your index card box, and just write all the information on there. That's what my mom has done for years, but I wanted to have my own little card, and I thought you guys might want this download too. So on this card, there's lots of information. There's the name and the birth date on the top. So you would fill this out and then put it in whatever month that birthday is. There's also a place for the address, so you don't have to go find the address when it's time to send a birthday card. There's email address and phone number if you wanted to have that also. And then my favorite part, and this is the trick I got from my mom, is I have all the years listed on the side from this year on forward for many, many years. And each year after I've sent a card, I put a little cross through it. So I know that I sent a card and I don't have to worry about it. Then when Christmas card time comes around, I just send a card to everybody in this box, and then I'll be sure everybody is covered. So this really has served well for my mom for years, and I am so excited to be using it now too. I've done something similar and it's worked, so now I officially have this system and I'm really excited. So I'm going to put my little celebrate piece in the front, and I'm going to put a few index cards behind each of these. I have a bunch of these cards already filled out with information for my loved ones, but I didn't want to show that in the video. But here you can see what it looks like in the box when you have them all in there. By the way, this box that I have here, this cute clear box, I got on Amazon, and I'll link to that in my YouTube description and over on my blog. I just think it's adorable. But you can get other inexpensive index card boxes at office supply stores for like a few bucks. And a lot of them actually come with index cards in them if you just want plain cards. Now what I do is at the beginning of each month, or close to the end of the month before, I go in and I grab all the cards from that month. And I add little notes to my planner on who I need to send cards to and when. Or I just send them all at the beginning of the month, and that way I can be sure not to miss them. Then again, at the end of the year, I just send a Christmas card to everybody that's in here. So there you have it, a birthday card index box that's fun to make using some supplies you may already have. If you're interested in the products I use, they're all linked below my YouTube description, or you can head over to my blog for more information, including that free download if you're interested in making your own birthday card index cards. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the YouTube description or over on my blog, and I'll be sure to answer it. Thanks so much for stopping by. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows you want to see more from me, and you can also hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.